Hello, Prescott Pumas. I have some more stories for us today. It's kind of raining and cold, so I thought it would be nice to make some cookies. So I have a book not about cookies, but about what happens if you give a moose a muffin. And I have another book about a clumsy crab. And the last book we'll read is Firefighters to the Rescue. Alright. We'll start with If You Give a Moose a Muffin. Alright. So this one is by Laura Hoff Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. We'll go to our title page. If You Give a Moose a Muffin. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. And when they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. He'll ask for a needle and thread. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. So he'll ask for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. When they're done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and paints. Then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. It's a lot of work. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. So he'll ask for something. Let me rewind. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much, he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. Then he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside and put it on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. The end. Alright, the next one we have is about a clumsy crab. This one is by Ruth Galloway. I wonder what is going to happen in this story. I wonder what's going to happen to the clumsy crab. What is he going to do? Where is he going to go? Pat your head if you know what clumsy means. If you don't know what clumsy means, let's find out. Let's see if the story will help us learn what clumsy means. Clumsy Crab by Ruth Galloway. Nipper the crab hated his huge, clumsy claws. Snip, snap, clip, clap. No matter how hard he tried, they always got in the way. None of his friends had clumsy claws. He wished he had tickly tentacles like octopus and jellyfish, or flippity fins like turtle and the fish. One day, Nipper was playing catch the bubble with his friends. Pop! His clumsy claws burst the bubble. They couldn't play that game anymore, so they played tag instead. Nipper scuttled off sideways, but one of his clumsy claws got in the way. Whoa! Nipper slipped and stumbled, tripped and tumbled until he was buried up to his eyes in sand. Turtle came to dig him out. Everyone decided to play hide and seek. Nipper climbed into a big clamshell and pulled it shut. It was the perfect hiding place. Until Nipper's clumsy claws shattered the shell into hundreds of tiny pieces. Ouch, he cried. Help! Jellyfish picked up the pieces of shell. If I didn't have these clumsy claws, I wouldn't break everything, and I'd be good at hide and seek, said Nipper. Don't worry, Nipper, said the others. We'll hide and you can find us. Nipper counted to 10, then set off to find his friends. He scuttled through the sand and found Turtle. He shuffled under the shells and found Jellyfish. And he searched up and down, in and out, and all around the rocks. But he couldn't find Octopus anywhere. Suddenly, everyone heard a cry. Help! Octopus was tangled up tightly in some seaweed. Octopus squirmed and squiggled and wriggled and jiggled. Turtle and Jellyfish tried to help, but the knots just got tighter and tighter. Nipper had an idea. Nipper snipped at the seaweed with his claws. Faster and faster, Nipper danced around the clump of seaweed, snipping and snapping, clipping and clapping. His claws moved quickly, slashing and slicing, shredding and dicing until the sea was filled of tiny pieces of swirling seaweed. Octopus was finally free. Thank you, Nipper. You're a clever crab, he cheered. Nipper waved his claws happily. At last, he knew how useful they could be. The end. Did you learn what clumsy meant? So Nipper had his claws, and he kept tripping over them. He kept getting into trouble, falling over, breaking things. So he's a little bit clumsy. He kept, kept getting tripped up and messed up by his claws. But at the end, he realized that his claws could be useful, that they could help him, and they helped save his friend Octopus. That reminds me of the time we went to Exploratorium, and we found the seaweed, and we brought it back to school, and we looked at that seaweed, and that was really cool. That reminded me of that. And then we got to taste seaweed, too. Yeah, that was fun. Alright, here is our last story, Firefighters to the Rescue. This one is going to be about people who work hard for us. Firefighters definitely help us out a lot. Alright, Firefighters to the Rescue. Everything was quiet in the Happy Hollow firehouse. There hadn't been any fires or rescues during the night. The night duty firefighters Ozzel, Froswell, and Sparky were taking a nap in the dormitory. Chief Pig was just starting his day with a nice warm shower. The day duty firefighters, Smoky, Blaze, and Buckets, were busy checking their equipment and cleaning the fire truck. They polished the truck until it sparkles from top to bottom. With their chores finished, Smoky and Blaze took a break and played a game of ping pong. Buckets settled down to read a good book. Life at the firehouse could be very quiet and boring until a fire alarm sounded. The firehouse cook, Noodle Pig, was quite busy, however, preparing a lunch of sloppy joes and a big pot of his delicious cheese noodles. "Come and get it," Noodle Pig yelled. The firefighters rushed to the table. All the firefighters loved Noodle Pig's cheese noodles. It was their favorite meal. Noodle Pig was just about to serve the noodles when the fire alarm rang. Bring! Smoky, Blaze, and Buckets jumped out of their seats. Ozzel, Froswell, and Sparky leaped out of their beds. There wasn't even time to run down the stairs. The firefighters slid down the pole. Swish, swish, swish. The firefighters quickly put on their helmets and boots. The firefighters took their places on the fire truck. Chief Pig raced out of the alarm room, holding the directions in his hand. "Hurry, let's go!" shouted the chief as he hopped into the fire truck. "The fire is at Woodbine Park!" Clang, clang, clang! The fire truck rushed out of the firehouse. At the sound of the bell, drivers pulled over to the side of the road, leaving a clear path for the firefighters. Clang, clang, clang! The big red fire truck raced down the street. The firefighters had to go to the fire as quickly as possible. Officer Freddie Bear halted traffic as the fire truck sped into Woodbine Park. Clang, clang, clang! People stopped to watch the big red truck as it roared past and headed to the fire. Do you see the fire yet? "Look!" yelled the chief. "There's smoke coming from Dan Dog's hot dog stand. It's on fire! Help! Please save my stand!" cried Dan Dog. "Hurry!" Miss Purdy Possum and her class were watching the action. They had come to the park for a picnic and to gather leaves for their leaf collection. The children were filled with excitement as they watched the firefighters race to the rescue. The firefighters quickly hooked a hose to the hydrant. Smokey held the hose tightly as water sprayed out of the nozzle. Swoosh! Hot dogs and buns went flying everywhere. There was a puff of smoke, and then the fire was out. Dan Dog opened the door of his stand to check the damage. The stand was full of water. Swoosh! Water poured from the stand, carrying poor Dan with it. Dan Dog was floating away. "We'll save you!" shouted the firefighters. They grabbed Dan Dog and pulled him to his feet. "Oh, I was cooking too many dogs at once," Dan Dog explained. "I turned up the burners and the canopy caught fire," he moaned. "Miss Purdy asked me to cook lots of hot dogs for her picnic. Now I can't feed the children. What am I going to do?" Chief Pig suddenly had an idea. He asked Miss Purdy to load the children on the school bus. He told the bus driver to follow the fire truck. Then he went to the fire truck to make a radio call. The children were going on a different trip. But where? Where do you think they're going? People waved as the big red truck and the big orange bus drove down the streets of Happy Hollow. Officer Betsy Pig stopped traffic to let the fire truck and bus pass. When the children and firefighters reached the firehouse, Noodle Pig was waiting for them. Do you know where they're going yet? There were no fires or rescues for the rest of the day, but there was a wonderful party at the firehouse. The children ate a delicious lunch. Sparky served sloppy joes, and Miss Purdy passed out plates of Noodle Pig's delicious cheese noodles. Then the children enjoyed a tour of the firehouse. Happy Hollow Fire Department and Noodle Pig had come to the rescue. And there's the inside of the firehouse again. The end. That was pretty good. So, if you ever see a firefighter, or a policeman, or even a mailman, or a doctor, or a nurse, all these people that are working hard for us, make sure you give them a big thank you. Alright friends, I will see you next time. I miss you, I love you, I hope you enjoyed these stories, and then there will be an activity down below for you to do as well. Alright, bye.